these 5 metrics. So I'm going to break down the 5 things that every rental property you buy must have. If you're new to the channel, like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment that says I subscribe, share the content with someone who you want to get value. We are going to get into a little bit of housekeeping very quickly, just popping up the Instagram live. The Boots on the Ground program, if you want us to find, finance, rehab, tenant, and manage properties for you, I'll talk a little bit about how that process works a little bit later on. You just have to reach out and DM me, Boots on the Ground. We have our next real estate ride-along tour. I'm planning one for January, but we are going to have a February 20th real estate ride-along tour. We're going to be bringing in a lot of people from out of state, probably from the West Coast. So if you're interested in joining me, seeing different properties, getting hands-on training. So you'll pretty much spend a day with me touring properties in different phases of full gut rehab. Just reach out and DM me ride along, and I will get you tapped into that. And then we have our plug and play program. If you just need support in your backyard market, let's say you're in like Georgia, Texas, Florida, Jersey, certainly my New Yorkers, and you need help finding profitable deals, off-market deals even, reach out, DM me, plug and play. We'll help you to get some deals under contract, and we'll hold your hand through the process if you want to flip them or hold them. So guys, you should never buy rental properties unless they have these 5 things. I'm going to march us through this quickly. We only have around maybe like 25 minutes to get through this. But if you're a new real estate investor, you're probably struggling with a lot of things, finding profitable deals. This is kind of what I hear. And I probably talk to anywhere from 300 to 500, new investors every month. People are kind of reaching out, DMing, trying to get information. You're all struggling with the same things: finding profitable deals, finding tenants, running comps, and knowing your ARVs so that you have the confidence to invest, managing contractors, building rehab budgets, connecting with lenders. We have a lot of lenders for you. We have private money lenders. We have transactional financing people who can step in and put down the down payment. You need a lot of these relationships as a new real estate investor, or you're just going to struggle. You'll learn from the school of hard knocks, and you'll get burned, by contractors and other professionals, and kind of learn the hard way. If you want to learn the easy way, if you want to learn while doing, tap in, DM us, Boots on the Ground. Just reach out and DM me. We will find, finance, rehab, tenant, and manage for you. So we will do it all for you. This is perfect if you're busy, if you don't have time, if you have, the aging parents, the kids, kind of all these things eating at your time. This can help you a lot. But you will also learn. I know it's important to a lot of you to learn the game. This is the best way to learn. It's kind of like show and tell. We're going to hold your hand through the process. We're going to do the deal for you. We're going to build it for you. You're going to see all the cost, everything that's beneath the hood of a full-scale operation. Just so you guys know, in terms of like operation within our Boots on the Ground program, these are cool numbers to share with you. Last year, we put 112 deals under contract last year for our Boots on the Ground members. And that's excluding off market. If I add in off market, let's throw in another 15 to 20. This year, we're already at 135 deals under contract this year, and we still have some months to go. So I think we will cross over like 150 deals under contract. In order to run an operation that big, you need to focus on the things that I'm teaching you guys. And I'm teaching you guys a lot of this for free. You can just kind of watch the YouTube lives, stay tapped into the IG, and you will learn and pick it up. But if you want to accelerate, you can always tap into our 24/7 cash flow community. I'm going to drop that link in the chat. I'll flash it across the screen. You can go to 247cashflowtraining.com/university. You can tap in there, and you can kind of learn this game as well. If you're not ready to get in, but you just want to learn. But if you're ready to get some deals done, you live out of state, and you need support and a team that can handle it for you, just reach out, DM us about Boots on the Ground. Let's get into this thing, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, share the content with someone who you want to get value. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat section. Let's get into it. So number one, this is the first thing that you must have. If you're going to buy a rental property, you must see this available. You need stress-tested cash flow. So as a new investor, a lot of new investors will lose money on their first couple of deals because they don't know what really happens with a rental property. They think it's just, hey, I got $1,500 a month coming in. My mortgage is $900, so I'm going to make $600 a month. And then the truth is, no, you're not. There are a lot of different expenses and things that you need to factor in. And therefore, you should stress test all of your deals. You need to stress test your cash flow. So what do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to look at my cash flow on my property, my gross cash flow, which would be that big picture number. If you have two grand a month coming in, 1 grand a month going out in your mortgage payment, then there's $1,000 a month of kind of free cash flow. But in order to stress test it, because I'm more conservative, people don't believe that because I do hundreds and hundreds of deals pretty much every year. But I'm very conservative with how I do it. I've learned this over the course of time because, what you can't see will hurt you. If you can't see the money kind of seeping out through the seams, it will bleed you out a bit. Property management fees, you need to factor that into your cash flow, because a lot of you, even if you think you're going to manage these deals by yourself, you're not. You're too busy. That's why a lot of you reach out to us about our Done For You program, because you're busy subconsciously, and that you're not going to be able to handle all of this, especially at scale. So even if you think you can manage your properties today, if you got 20 properties, which I could show you how to get 20 very quickly in a year, could you manage 20 by yourself and keep working and take care of your kids and take care of the aging parents? And no, you can't. So you need to factor in property management from day one. We will manage your properties through boots on the ground, through our Done For You program, for 5%, but the industry standard is 10%. So you need to factor in that management fee. 5% vacancy. You want to factor in a 5% rent loss annually just for vacancy. Now, vacancy is not going to hit you every year, but when it does, it can hurt you. It can take some money out of your pocket. So you want to just factor it in as part of your stress test. If this property still cash flows $500-600 a month after factoring in this 5% vacancy discount, it's a keeper. You should stick with it. We have a free rent factor. So let's say the sink broke, the refrigerator broke, the tenant locked themselves out, and you didn't call a locksmith and get them in quickly. They're going to be upset. Maybe there's something going on. The water meter needed to be replaced. The water company cut off the water for 2 days. Tenant's unhappy. Free rent factors. They want some discounts. They want to, get something off of their rent. That we're going to factor in, probably around 1% of a free rent factor discount. Capital expenditures. We focus in boots on the ground on full gut rehab, because I hate capital expenditures. I don't want to keep pouring money into this property after I tenanted it. I just want to get cash flow out. Capital expenditures is like replacing the refrigerator, fixing the broken sink, the broken toilet, like fixing those things. I would only factor in, for your average rental property, if you've gut renovated it, maybe around $500-600 a year of capital expenditures. Sometimes less, sometimes as little as $250, depending on the size of your portfolio per property per year. But if you didn't renovate, if you try to go turnkey, I would keep around $4,000 to $6,000 just cash on hand for a rainy day, for when that heater blows out or something catastrophic happens. But if you do the gut renovation, you'll be pretty safe. Debt service, that would just be your mortgage, your taxes, your insurance. You need to factor those into your cash flow. A lot of people miss that. And then utilities. If you're going with multifamily, you may have to cover the water bill, because how do you split a water bill in a triplex amongst 3 tenants? Who's using what? You don't really know. So you might get stuck with the water bill. You need to factor that in. So factoring in all of these things is going to give you your stress tested cash flow. This is what we will send for our boots on the ground members who are watching. This is what we send out in our deal analysis reports. We're sending you stress tested cash flow. So if you're hitting your numbers, Section 8, or somebody's like maxing you out on rent, you're likely to collect more than we're projecting, because we like to stress test. Guys, if you're getting value, like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment that says I subscribe, share the content with someone who you want to get value. If you have any questions, drop in the chat section. If you want to learn more about our Done For You programs, just reach out, DM me, text me, email me, boots on the ground, and we will get you tapped in there. Of course, we have our next ride along tour. Those tickets are going to sell out because we're doing some cross promotion for this next one. So make sure if this is something you need, hands-on training, that you're reaching out and getting tapped in and locked into that. Let's get to the next section of this. The second thing you need if you're going to buy a rental property is market demand. You must have demand. I usually will focus on sister cities. These are cities like Philadelphia, Baltimore, where they're next to a more expensive city like DC or New York. People get priced out. You guys have seen with the Mamdani, you guys have seen people leaving New York City. They want to get out of New York. Where are they going to go? They're going to go to Philly. They're going to start moving south because New Yorkers hate the Red Sox. They hate Boston. Like they hate the New England area. So they're going to start flocking south. And Philly is that next big city where people are going to go to. So that is a location you want to focus on. You want to focus on sister cities, places where people are moving in year over year. So I already know that in a market like Philly, people are moving in year over year, trying to find value, trying to find cheaper properties, lower taxes, especially if you're in a city like New York, you're getting taxed crazily. So we have an influx of people, check. Job growth. You want to hear things like Amazon's moving in, or the health sciences sector is really growing here. This is going to be the new tech hub. You want to start hearing things like that. Job growth. You want to be in big cities because big cities have jobs. So somewhere like Philadelphia is the 6th largest city in America, sister city to New York. You know you're going to get that job growth. You want major universities. I love one thing I love about Philly is it's a college town. There's like 50 universities in Philly. So having that, people are going to graduate and they're going to want to move or live kind of close by because they're still going to have friends at the university. So that can be, a big plus for you. And then public transportation. You want there to be public transportation if you're focusing on affordable housing, because a lot of affordable housing tenants do not have cars. They rely on this public transportation to get around. So when I'm looking for rental properties, I'm factoring in all of these things as well. Are people moving in? Is there job growth? Are there major universities? Is there a good public transportation system? And where's my property located relative to that public transportation system? So I'm factoring in all of this information to make sure I'm putting myself in the best position long term, because a lot of these things lead to price growth and appreciation. Guys, if you're getting value, like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment that says I subscribe, share the content with someone who you want to get value. If you're interested in those done for you programs, boots on the ground, where we will find, finance, rehab, tenant, and manage properties for you in our Philadelphia market. Plug and play. If you just want to do deals in your backyard and you need support, you need me to take my team and kind of help them to lock in on your situation and help you to scale. We just got somebody a deal in about 60 days. I believe we just got them their first off-market deal, completely off-market. So if you need that type of support, reach out. And then if you want hands-on training, reach out about our next ride-along tour, which will be in February. But I may sneak in one in January because there's just a lot of demand. We might have to do 2 back-to-back tours. Guys, number 3, affordable housing. I'm always focused on affordable housing as a strategy to get ahead. So if I'm going to buy a rental property, especially today, we're in the midst of maybe the largest affordable housing crisis in America that we've ever seen, like historically. We're 7 million affordable housing units short right now, 7 million. And we're nowhere close to bridging the gap and kind of closing in on that gap. So when I'm in a market, I want to look for what's the Section 8 demand. Well, in Philly, there's 50,000 people on the waiting list. I like that. Do they have veteran housing, other forms of affordable housing and government subsidized housing? Because that's going to keep me safe during a recession. Even if the market downturns, I can just go purely affordable, start renting to the government. So I want to look into that form of housing as well. So I'm looking for veteran housing. If I'm somewhere like Delaware, a lot of people don't know this about Delaware, but Delaware has maybe 8 versions of like Section 8. So they have Section 8, but then they have Family Promise, and they have all these other programs where they do government voucher-based renting. It's a very unique market. Most markets do not have that many programs available. So you want to do that level of research. I want to see what the market is for things like co-living. That's where you will take a single family property and break it down into a series of master suites and then rent them out kind of like studio apartments. I want to see, is there a good demand for that? Being in a college town gives you a nice demand for that. People who are in their late 20s, early 30s, and are just trying to build. I mean, you guys should know that the average first-time home buyer now is like 40 something. So people who are in their 30s, they're still building, they're still paying student loans and debt. They need co-living situations where they can live with others and kind of split the bills. Group homes. You're only going to see high demand for group homes in major cities. So a lot of these things will lead you towards being in a major city. if you want to get cash flow. I know some of you like to invest on the outskirts, but the major cities are going to offer you more affordable housing opportunities. But group homes, can you get a building and convert it into a group home where you can rent to like 6 or 7 people as a room rental, or some type of communal living situation? These group homes can cash flow anywhere from, let's say, like 3 to 5,000, all the way up to maybe like 25, 35,000, a month, depending on your strategy. There are some very advanced strategies that we talk about from time to time. And if you need help or want to go down those paths, you just have to reach out and kind of lock in. Then we have affordable market rents. So you just want to see, like, what will the market pay? Will the market pay $1,700 for a 3-bed as an affordable rent, like the bottom of the market, not in like the A class, but in the C class, in some of the rougher neighborhoods? Where is that rent at? Because that's going to give you a nice baseline and give you a conservative nature to what you're doing. Like, if all goes to hell, I can just rent market and I'll still cash flow. Maybe I only make $200-300 a month, but I'll live to fight another day, and those rents will appreciate. So even a property that cash flows $200 to $300 a month today can cash flow $1,000 a month 5 to 10 years from now, because rents tend to go up. And I've seen rents double in many markets. And then rent to own. Is there rent to own demand? Is there that rent to own demand? So even if you can't Section 8 or do market rentals or co-living or room rentals, all these different strategies, there are always people with bad credit who want to own something. So can you get them in as a rent to own prospect? Because that can unlock a lot of profitability for you guys. We had a quick question come from Gerald. Hey, I'm interested in finding off-market single-family multi-units in Virginia area. Could you assist? Absolutely. Basically, what we would do is, through plug and play, bring in our deal analyst team. I have a huge team of deal analysts, maybe like five to six of them. And they will come in, scan the market. We will screen out all the bad deals, present you with the best deals that hit the market every day, on and off market, and at auction. We will analyze them. We'll do all the stress testing to make sure they're good deals, help you to negotiate, get them under contract. If they need rehab, we'll help to oversee the rehab. We can't do it for you like we do in our full done for you program, the boots on the ground program in Philly. But I do have contractors and crews in the DMV. So we could get you a contractor, help you to oversee the project. And then if you want to keep it as a rental, help you to tenant and put management in place. I already have all those relationships in the DMV because I've been doing deals in Baltimore for a long time. So definitely reach out, Gerard. Reach out, just DM me, click the link in bio, click the link in description, tap into our community group. Just, get around us, and we can definitely help you. If you need us to step in and help you to scale a portfolio, we can get you there. Guys, if you're getting value, like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment that says I subscribe, share the content with someone who you want to get value. If you're interested in our done for you programs, just reach out, DM me. You can text me, however you got here. You can just reach out. You can click the link in the description, click the link in bio, and tap into our community group, and we will get you oriented. But lots of free trainings, lots of stuff for you guys, and you can always come out and get that hands-on training in Philly if you learn better hands-on, which I would say, from my experience, and I've brought over somewhere between 200 to 300 people out to Philly to do hands-on trainings over the last several years. And I've taught thousands and thousands of people. Most people benefit from hands-on training. That is like the missing link. It removes the fear factor from real estate investing when you can go out and actually see how houses are put together and understand the rehab budgets and all those things. So we will get you dialed in there. Number 4, I want my market to be investor friendly. It must be an investor-friendly market. So I want a good landlord-tenant laws, what I would call balanced. A balanced landlord-tenant state means if you have good paperwork, if you have your rental license, if you're doing your job, you have proper lease in place, you have a commercial activity license, like you're registered as a landlord, you're not going to have any problem evicting. If you don't have your paperwork, you're going to have a problem. This is why you need, if you don't know what you're doing, just get mentorship. Because getting burned, even in that type of situation where you can't evict, that could cost you 20 grand. Getting burned by a contractor could cost you 20 to 40 grand. 20 would be like a gift if you only got burned for 20K. Most of the times when you get burned by a contractor, it's for 50 to 100,000, maybe more. You could buy a deal thinking it's a duplex and it's really a single. That could cost you 100K. There's just so many ways to lose. Educate yourself. Get educated first if you're serious. If you're not serious, then just sit on the sideline and be in. But if you are serious, get yourself educated the right way versus the wrong way, because you will get educated either way, either the easy way through some type of mentorship or the hard way through just getting burned until you figure it out. And that hard way is going to cost you at least 100K. I don't care who you are or how smart you think you are. It's going to cost you at least 100K worth of mistakes to get up to a competency level to where you can become profitable. That's just the nature of the beast. But good landlord tenant laws, reasonable eviction times, reasonable, I would say, is 90 days. Why do I say 90 days? Or even if it went to 120 days, that's still reasonable, because on move-in, you can collect first, last, and security. So you're pretty covered, even if it goes 90 or 120 days. You just don't want to be in places like New York or California, New York City in particular, where these evictions can go a year and a half, 2 years. You can't really survive that, the average bearer, especially not if you have a lot of leverage and debt on your property. So focus on markets like Philadelphia, even Baltimore, where you can do reasonable evictions, 90 days, 100 days. You can pretty much get somebody out, and most people will move out before the sheriff comes. So if you can just start the eviction and they know you can kind of push them a little bit harder, they will just leave. Fair lead-based laws. So one thing about a place like Baltimore that makes Philly superior is that Baltimore has extreme lead laws, meaning if you tried to turnkey a property in Baltimore and you didn't lead abate it, rip out all of the trim and door trim and molding that has lead-based paint in it, under the age of 6 gets lead poisoning from anywhere. They could be at a daycare and get it. But if there's lead found in your house, they're going to blame you, and you could be sued for up to unlimited liability. Like, there is no limit. So you have to abate in a place like Baltimore because of their lead laws. As a landlord, you need to know the lead laws, where you're investing, how they're changing, and if it's an extreme place where you currently have to abate, or if it's a place like Philly where you don't have to abate. You could go turnkey. You don't have to abate. You just have to get testing on your property. And as long as it passed the test, you're fine. Your liability is limited. So you need to know where you're at and what you're doing. And then easy to pull permits. I want it to be a place where I can pull permits in 30 to 60 days. 30 to 60 days is fast. Some places it's a year and a half. Places like New York, it could be a nightmarish. So you want to make sure you can pull your permits and that you're in the driver's seat there, in my opinion. Guys, if you're getting value, like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment that says I subscribe, share the content with someone who you want to get value. If you're interested in our done for you programs, our boots on the ground program, we will find, finance, rehab, tenant, and manage properties for you. Just reach out, DM me, boots on the ground. If you want hands-on training, DM me ride along and come out to our next real estate ride along tour. You'll probably see me walking through houses. If you look at some of the Instagram content or YouTube content, YouTube shorts, you'll see us walking through houses, educating people. We just did our 5th tour this year. Next year, we might do 6 or 7 tours. So make sure that, you reach out and you're a part of that if you need it. Yusuf said, appreciate you. Yusuf said, don't wait, guys. Brian is the real deal. Yusuf came out, ride along tour, property. He's working on his next deal. Yusuf's one that watched me for maybe like 7 or 8 months, maybe up to a year before tapping in. So you guys will see. Some people are naysayers. Oh, this sounds too good to be true. And okay, we'll see you next year. We'll see you in 2030. Like, I'm still going to be doing this. We're still going to be getting results. We put 135 deals under contract so far this year. We're building 40 houses right now. They say the proof is in the pudding. So, it just is what it is. If you need the help, you reach out. If you're a sideline or a naysayer, you sit there until you get tired of it, because there's no results on the sideline. There's just more sitting and waiting. Number 5, This is the fifth thing I look for. I look for more than this, but these are the big five. Scalability. Can I scale here? I don't want to invest in an area or spend time building in an area I can't scale in. People ask, Brian, why Philly? Because it's ripe and you can scale. There's enough inventory, there's enough volume, there's enough value, and all of these metrics. Everything we discussed tonight is in Philly. Everything we discussed tonight is not everywhere. It's not everywhere, but it's in Philly, and that's why we're there. If it becomes in other places, then we'll be there. Baltimore will get there. It's not fully where Philly is right now. Philly is the better opportunity. In my opinion, the best opportunity in the country. And according to Zillow, it's top 5 opportunities in the country. So it's up there, according to me, according to experts, it's there. These are the things I look for. Property management. In a major city, there's going to be an abundance of property management professionals because they're needed. Most people, if you want to get that passive income, most people are putting property management in place because that's how you get passive income. Real estate management is active, but if you let somebody else manage it for you, now you can collect mailbox money. Now it becomes passive. So a city like Philly or even Baltimore, there's going to be a lot of property management there. That's a good place to scale. A place like, let me think, Nebraska, there's going to be some property managers there, but there ain't going to be a lot. That might not be scalable. I was talking to a guy from, believe it or not, from Nebraska earlier this week. Contractors. There's another reason why I like to do this in major cities. There's an abundance of contractors. Now, when there's abundance of contractors, that means there's also an abundance of scam contractors. People who will steal from you, run with your money, steal your materials. There's all of that too. So it doesn't mean you won't get burned. The only thing that can protect you from getting burned by contractors is real estate education, which is why you should educate yourself first before they do. They'll educate you. They'll give you an education of a lifetime. Being in a place where there's lots of contractors in that abundance. Leasing agents. I want there to be an abundance of leasing agents and professionals that can show my properties. Sometimes I might have multiple leasing agents showing properties just to keep my volume up. So I want that. And then lender belief. Lender belief probably could be the number one thing we talked about tonight, but we saved it for last. The lender has to believe in the entire city or state or wherever you're investing. So somewhere like Cleveland or even Baltimore, just because it's cheap, you need to understand lenders are looking at it and saying, I don't believe in Cleveland. They're saying things like, I'll go back to it. They're saying, are people moving into Cleveland? Why are people moving to Cleveland? Is LeBron James coming back? Is there job growth in Cleveland? How many major universities are in Cleveland? What's their public transportation? They're looking at that, and then they're looking at the pricing of the housing, and they're saying, do I want to write a $250,000 loan in Philly or a $150,000 loan in Philly or a $50,000 loan in Cleveland? It's the same amount of paperwork. It's the same amount of drama. They'd rather do the business somewhere else. So you can't scale is what you'll find. You might go to Cleveland. Oh, the properties are so cheap. And you can't scale because you don't have lender belief. If you want to do 20, 30 deals a year, you're going to need some lenders. You're going to need people who believe in the city. So I'm looking for that lender belief so that I can scale up. So that once I get a deal going and I'm got my contractors together and I'm flowing and I'm getting the cash flow, that I can do 50 deals. Like we're doing through Boots on the Ground. How do you think we're doing? People ask, Brian, is the market's too tight? You can't get a deal. Well, we put 135 under contract. I'm one guy. My operation put 135 deals under contract this year, and the year ain't even over. Can you really get me a deal through Boots on the Ground? We put 135 under contract. We can. I think we can. The last year we did 125. So we're already tracking past last year. Over 2 years, that's 250, 275 deals. So you want that volume to be there, but you need that lender belief. So guys, I hope all these things help you guys to have a better sense for what you need to be thinking about when you're buying turnkey rentals, when you're going out and trying to source rental properties across the country. You want to make sure you watch this again and factor in those metrics. If you're new to the channel, like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment that says I subscribe, share the content with someone who you want to get value. If you just want to tap into our course content and kind of learn through all my mistakes, It's only $1 to test it out. You can click that link in description or bio, go to 247cashflowtraining.com/university, join the 24/7 Cashflow family, get access to our course content, learn the game, and then come out to a tour, experience this thing hands-on, and just learn hands-on. Get rid of that fear factor, because rates are going down, prices are going up right now, and they're going to continue to rise into 2026 and 2027. If you sit on the sideline, you will be priced out of the game. Prices are not going to turn around. They're going to go higher. They don't want any affordable cities. They want permanent renters. And that's you. That's who they want to rent forever. So, or your kids. They don't care who it is. So you need to start buying these properties and getting your head into the game so that you can scale to the next level. I got to jump. Wish I could spend more time with you guys, but I got to jump because we have an inner circle call with our community members, the people who are in the community, or who are tapped into our Boots on the Ground program or Plug and Play program. We're going to have our call that's on Zoom right now. It's every Wednesday night at 9. So I'm going to jump over to that. If you guys need me, reach out, DM me, text me, get into this Boots on the Ground program while you can. We only bring on like 2 to 3 people a month. I think we only have 1 spot left this month. We've had some people tap in. So if you're interested, reach out and grab your hands-on training tickets before they sell out. We only bring out around 20 to 25 people on a tour. Brian Grimes, your real estate mentor. I'll see you guys on the next one.